Hello everyone, welcome back. I am just going to do a quick review of the stuff that I brought with me on the trail. Yesterday I got back from Mount Washington. We did the Lion's Head winter route, and I was just putting away my stuff, so I thought that I'd make a quick video since it changed. So I'll start with the stuff that I wore and I had primarily with me. These are my trekking poles. I took the baskets off. I find that the baskets catch the wind a lot easier. I had my GoPro mounted to it. My boots, they worked great. I love these. They're called Salomon, and they're the waterproof insulated version. Heavier, but definitely kept my feet warm and dry. My buff, which I wore as a beanie most of the time, except for when I was really hot, I wasn't really even wearing anything. These are my thin liner gloves that I wore most of the time. I even took those off sometimes. Darn Tough socks with the Injinji liners, which I really didn't like because I found that my toes in between, it would pull on the downhill when I was wearing the crampons. These are my gaiters, which suffered a minor casualty with the crampons along the way. They got stuck, but saved me from damaging my brand new pants, which I have to say I really enjoyed. These things were awesome. Kept me dry and warm. I didn't have to even wear a windproof layer over the top of them. I just wore this, and underneath I wore these Under Armour long johns, kind of thicker than I planned on wearing. I planned on wearing a lot thinner pair of long johns, but they worked out great. And then my top, I was wearing this Nike Fit base layer, nice and thin. It kept me dry. And then over top of that was my merino wool long sleeve Vormi, which was a big investment for a long sleeve t-shirt, but totally worth it. I really like this shirt. And then I primarily wore over top of that, most of the hike, I was wearing this red Outdoor Research Feroce hoodie. Super lightweight, dry, dried out really fast. I love it. Along with the pants too, the OR pants that I was just saying. Alright, let's get started on my bag. These things I took out, but let's see. I have a bandana on the outside, a small towel on the outside, mostly for wiping my face, sweat. I also had another buff that I wore as a neck gaiter. These were my gloves that were great, actually mittens, which work out a lot better than gloves because they keep your fingers a lot warmer. And you just take your hands out, use the liners underneath. I carry a knife and a small flashlight with me. I had a face mask, one of the smaller ones, which is nice and light. That worked out really good when it was windy and I wanted to protect my face. Over here I have my my water bottle. I carried two, one of which was an Nalgene, which I have inside this parka, and you carry it upside down to prevent it from getting frozen, but it never froze anyways. In fact, a buddy of mine was carrying his smart water bottle upside down and it never froze at all on the outside of his pack. So I have that one, and then I have another one inside. My ice axe, which was just a Camp USA ice axe, worked out great. It's a necessity if you're doing the winter route. No doubt about it, you have to have it. This was my shell. It's just the Marmot Precip rain jacket. I brought this, but I only wore it for a very short period of time in the morning, and then I ended up taking it off. And really, I was right down to just my base layer and the long sleeve t-shirt I had. That was just a vest that I had. These I never wore at all, but I think it's important to bring them. These are my rain pants, windbreaker pants. Like I said, the Outdoor Research Cirque pants that I bought did a great job keeping me dry, but I think it's important to have those as well. Oh, this is just a cover for my ice axe. About 50 feet of rope. Never used it, but good to have. Pack cover. And then I have extra carabiner as well. Okay. I'll just open this up. Inside I had my down jacket, which was awesome when we got to the summit. In fact, I wore it all the way down to pretty much from the top of the summit down to Lion's Head, where I ended up taking it off, but kept me warm and really dry and comfortable, believe it or not, even though I was worried about it getting wet and then not being able to insulate. This was my helmet. I like wearing the helmet, not only for peace of mind for my wife, but also because I think that it helps ventilate a lot better than a hat or anything else would. I wear that with the goggles. The goggles are necessary, I think, in the wind, and especially if it starts precipitating on Mount Washington. These are my crampons. They are also a necessity. They're pretty aggressive spikes on them, but I find that the people who wear the micro spikes, it works out, I think, for most people. But I think that having the more aggressive spikes allows you to do less work, really, because you're like almost on a treadmill in some spots. This is my extra water bottle. It was a Hydro Flask, which is a little bit heavier than the Nalgene, but you don't have to worry about it freezing. You don't have to keep it inside the park or anything. In fact, I don't know if I even would have needed any of that, since my buddies didn't freeze at all. Okay, this was the extra gear that I brought that I really didn't need or use at all, but it's still stuff that I feel like it's necessary to bring with you when you do Mount Washington. I might have been able to do without it, but here's an extra pair of goggles that I bring with me. They recommend 2 pair in case you get fogged up or iced up. An extra pair of gloves in case one pair gets blown away. Oh, this is my sleeping bag. This is in case I have to hunker down. It only weighs, like 14 ounces or something crazy like that. It's a down bag, and I like it a lot, so why not bring it in the event that I have to use it in an emergency or something. Let's just do this. Okay. I brought all new base layers. I brought this is an Under Armour long sleeve long john shirt, and then another one long sleeve or long pants, long johns, an extra pair of liner gloves, and hat, beanie hat, liner socks, and an extra pair of socks. And I think that's it. Oh, this is a Survivor Outdoors Longer emergency bivouac, and my sleeping pad. I failed to mention that I brought these as well. These are this is a Z seat, which worked out pretty good. Kept my my bottom dry and not cold when I sat down in the snow. I brought my pot in case I had to boil stuff. Snacks and stuff is inside there. But I also brought a way to make a fire if I needed to boil down some snow or something like that. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Okay. Oh, my charger that I use. I don't know why this isn't focusing. There we go. Headlamp. Toilet paper. Hand warmers. Foot warmers. Body Glide. Hand sanitizer. Motrin. Safety pins and cotton balls to help make a fire. Chapstick, which I probably should have used. My lips are chapped from the wind, but you can also make a fire with this on the cotton balls. Waterproof matches is a secondary source of fire. My charger cord for my phone and for my GoPro, and that's it. Just the Bic mini lighter, which is my primary source for fire, and that's everything. I think my my weight starting at the trailhead with both water bottles and all my food, I think it was around 24 pounds. A few things that may change next time I do it will be probably I'll leave that vest at home, and I might not bring so much emergency gear. I don't know. I feel like it's easier to make a decision on whether or not you're gonna make it all the way through or not. But that's it. That's everything. I suppose I'll probably be doing another trip up to Washington in the summertime, and probably again next year in the wintertime too. So I'll be doing gear reviews as I go along and progress. Thanks a lot.